Well, we would say a very pleasant Saturday afternoon to you folks here from the UMass Boston Soccer Stadium. Unfortunately, it's not one, but the rain is held off up to this point with the remnants of Hurricane Ian tracking through the area. We're out on the peninsula, and if I can be honest, probably the best possible weather day in front of us as your 6-2-1 UMass Boston Beacons look to continue an impressive hot streak that they find themselves in right now in the middle of this 2022 campaign. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Del Sordo, bringing you the action on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, powered by LEC TV. It is your 6-2-1 UMass Boston Beacons and the 1-4-2 Eastern Nazarene Lions. Taking a look at the side-by-side statistics on the season, you can see the Beacons have been a bit of a powerhouse so far to this point on the year. Eastern Nazarene College averaging just over 1 goal per contest at 1.13 goals per game. The Beacons at a solid 2, and as you can see, the Beacons defense very stalwart in the early going of the season, only averaging 0.89 goals against on the season. Meanwhile, a bit more leaky on the back end for Eastern Nazarene, 2.25 goals allowed. 3 shutouts on the season for the Beacons compared to just 1 for Eastern Nazarene. They did get a clean sheet in their lone win on the season. Let's take a quick look at the starting lineups before we hop into the action here today. First, for the visiting Lions from Eastern Nazarene College. Matias Pate, a sophomore defender out of Lima, Peru on the back line. Next to him, Alberto Mena Espinoza, a junior out of Mexico City. Matias Win from Mexico City on the front line. He's a true freshman, Jorge Gonzalez. In the middle, a senior wearing number 10. Igor Chignoli, a back line, probably a defensive midfielder in today's formation out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Pablo Velasquez, Samuel Rosas, Manuel Vibo, Brian Vargas, and Clyde No to start off the contest at the starting 10 on the field. Lucas Batts, a sophomore out of Jacksonville, North Carolina, the starting goaltender for the Lions today. Real quick, we'll run through the Beacon starting 11. It's Pachersky, Luan Cruz, Ryan Lima, Christian Suvak, Anilson DePina, Diego Gizolt, Luis Spinola, Maan Albahasi, Josh D. Almeida, Logan Erickson Potter, and in net having a phenomenal junior season, Kasim Al-Ashkar, and that's the starting 11 for today's action. Kicked out in the deep back line by Beacons, possession given back to Eastern Nazarene as we start the opening moments of today's contest here at the UMB Soccer Stadium. Hard to believe this, but actually as you look out due east here from our broadcast booth towards the Massachusetts Bay, it looks like we even have some sun peeking through. So this is turning into a nice afternoon for a soccer game. Possession tipped out. It's going to stay with the Beacons. Long toss in from Logan Erickson Potter, trying to sneak it in to Luan Cruz along the back line. Popped up right in front of us here, giving chase Shalines Osteen. He puts it into the middle, and now charging ahead with it, Brian Vargas. Crossfield pass cut out nicely on the play by, that was Luis Spinola. And it goes out right around the center line here. The Beacons will take possession back the other way. Once again, we're in the opening seconds here. Beacons 6 wins on the season, riding a 4-game winning streak. This is the last non-conference game that both teams will be looking at for a while. Eastern Nazarene plays in the NECC. That conference, flag-shipped by New England College up in Henniker, New Hampshire. All of those teams playing in either Massachusetts or New Hampshire. Eastern Nazarene located 10 minutes down the road here in Quincy. Beacons have a run of LEC play. They won their last 2 LEC contests, including a 5-0 shutout against Plymouth State. That was this time last week. And then a midweek win, 2-0, up at Southern Maine. So the Beacons clicking right now. Eastern Nazarene with a little push here as that touch pass finds Jorge Gonzalez. With a head full of steam, he decides to revert course here. And Matias Pate along the back line kind of dribbled into some trouble there by Brian Vargas, and so the Lions will reset. Long seeking lofted through, and it actually finds the head of Manuel Vibo. Kicked out of trouble by Spinola, but right back to Brian Vargas. He's been around the ball quite a bit in the opening moments. Lions have to take it back out towards the center line here, and they'll completely revert course, give it back to defender Samuel Rosas. He takes it back along the right wing. Peeling back, Manuel Vibo. Nice riding play there by Logan Erickson Potter to push it out, give the Beacons defense just a chance to catch a breath and reset. Decent amount of midfield action in the opening seconds of this contest here. The last minute or two of play, it's been Eastern Nazarene a bit on the front foot, but this game just still trying to find its balance in the opening moments. That was the first touch we had from starting goaltender Kasim Al-Ashkar. a resident of Salem, Mass. He's a transfer from Springfield College, enjoying a very good start to his junior season. A 1.08 goals allowed average, 84% save percentage en route to his current 5-2-1 record on the year. Beacons along the back line now, trying to poke it through in the direction of Ryan Lima. Couldn't control it cleanly. Good defensive effort there to poke it free, but it will be going back with Eastern Nazarene. In the 5th minute here at UMB Soccer Stadium, this is a bit of a makeshift soccer field, but as far as a temporary field goes, one of the nicest playing conditions you will find. We are actually over the right field fence of Monin Park, the Beacons baseball facility. Normal home stadium for the Beacons, BC High, undergoing a huge renovation. There are going to be new grandstands, a new press box, and so right now we're using this soccer field. Beautiful field here tucked in between the campus residences. That shot launched towards net by Mattia Zuen, the first shot attempt this game sees here in the 5th minute. Misses well wide, high over the net, and All Ashkar retreats back, looks to his right, and kicks it back into play to the feet of Diego Gisolt. Big game for Diego in the contest against Southern Maine. He got his first goal of the season, did the sophomore defender out of Newton, Mass. That one got sent through in the direction of Josh D'Almeida, the team's leading scorer. Looking back for some support there, Potter was the only one near him, and now it is forced out off the foot of Igor Chignoli. It's a UMass Boston with the throw-in. This is Logan Erickson. Potter makes a man miss with a sidestep, centers it in, cut out pretty nicely by Zuen. We see him in this formation, looks to be an attacking midfielder. Sometimes he plays the true striker position, but he's been all over the field, a true red heat map in the opening moments of this contest. One more time, the 11 to start the contest for the Beacons. Dennis Pachirski in the back, Luan Cruz and Ryan Lima both in the middle. Christian Suvak up front, and Nielsen De Pina. We've seen him all over the pitch up to this point. Diego Gisolt on the back line. Luis Spinola also with him on the back line. Man Albahasi playing central defender today. Josh D'Almeida up front. Logan Erickson Potter playing defensive mid. He's been around the ball quite a bit. And as we mentioned, Kasim Al-Ashkar in net. Potter, quick little handoff here to Ryan Lima as they'll work it deep down the left sideline. Not the nicest touch there as Pachirski was flat-footed on it, had to retreat, and it's going to be a turnover. Shaleen's Austin tried to spring number 27, Clyde No, and it was cut out at the last second in the middle of the defense by Man Albahasi. And now on the counterattack, here's Luan Cruz. Peels it back to Lima. Now Cruz over to Pachirski. Back to midfield they go right in front of us. Logan Erickson Potter directing traffic, looking back towards Luan in the middle. And now here's Cruz. Blue wristband on his left arm here, an imposing figure in the middle of the offense. A 6'1" freshman midfielder out of Everett, Mass. And his stature really fills up the middle of the field here. Ball has been around the midfield area for most of the early going here. Beacon's a bit on the front foot. That's De Pina trying to take on some covers. He gets his attack cut out, but right behind him, Christian Suvak, and now they bend it back across field, reversing court. Potter, little give and go here with a Nielsen De Pina. Hands it off. Back to Cruz. De Pina. Ball still on his right foot, cutting through the middle. They reset back to Suvak. He tries to chip one through the defense, sliding save by Alberto Mena Espinoza, right when the Lions needed him. Not the cleanest send in by Christian Suvak. That was in the direction of Luis Spinola, pressing up from the back line. A nice control there by Suvak right along the far sideline to keep it in for the Beacons. Scoreless here in the opening moments. Past 2 minutes or so, Beacons have been on the front foot with the ball. Nice touch there, and it's controlled by Luan Cruz. Once again, cut out by Mena Espinoza. Alberto Mena Espinoza, a junior out of Mexico City, standing just 5'7", but really using his range, covering a lot of ground. Last 2 balls sent in on the attack, he's cut out without much problem here for the Eastern Nazarene College Lions. Albahasi looking in the direction of Spinola. Or pardon me, that was De Pina. And now they go all the way back to Diego Gisolt, playing the true center back position. Oh, wow, nice one touch here, and they just couldn't quite squeeze it through That was Spinola, looking for Lima, who tried to poke it in through to Luan Cruz, cut out at the last second there by the Lions defense. Al-Bahasi in the true defender position in the early going here. Looks to be a 2-4-4 out of the gate for the Beacons. 3 along the back line in the early going here for Eastern Nazarene. And as you can see, that leaves the deep sides on the attack open. Here's Anelson de Pina. And Nielsen, taking a spill there, tried to set up the one-on-one move against Samuel Rosas. Rosas holds his ground. De Pina takes a spill, but that clearance attempt finds Man Al-Bahasi. Left-footed cross. And a bit too adventurous there as he was looking to find Josh D. Almeida on the cut in. A little bit too much pop on that one for Al-Bahasi. Maana Jr. out of Revere, Massachusetts. He went to Revere High School, seeing his first steady starting minutes coming into action this season. Was a contributor for the past 2 years out on the peninsula, but now a junior turning into a true veteran with his role, and a player that he was actually the picture boy on today's game program was Man Al-Bahasi, but just a player now really synonymous with a controlled, sustained defensive effort. You trust him with the ball at his feet. Obviously not the last time we will be calling his name this afternoon. Matthias Zuan, he had a very busy first 3 minutes of this afternoon. Tries to find a streaking Shalene Osteen, who's had a nice start to the afternoon as well, but that was cut out very nicely. Al-Bahasi in the neighborhood. Number 11, Christian Suvak, applying some support. Suvak kind of hanging out in that CDM position right now, sagging back towards the back line here. We saw him join the attack, run a play about 3 minutes ago. Denise Pachirski, the true freshman out of Newton, Mass. He sent it up in the direction of Ryan Lima. Almost dispossessed there, but recovering nicely. And the Beacons will now try and send it over here towards the left sideline. Al-Bahasi directing traffic from the center back spot over to Logan Erickson Potter. Potter thinks twice about taking on Manuel Vabo, and now it's Christian Suvak again along the back line. Diego puts his foot through it in the direction of Cruz, tries to reach up with the left foot. It has it. Chip shot towards the middle. D. Almeida was waiting, and miscommunication there as that was Lucas Batts in the area trying to make the save. Ultimately, it gets cleared, but the Beacons, they were on to something there thanks to Luan Cruz sticking his nose into the mix, being around the action. Luan tied with 5 other Beacons, second on the team with 2 goals. He's second on the team with 7 points on the season, 2 goals to go along with 3 assists. Lions have something here on the counterattack. It's a cross-field pass to Clyde No, right-footed cross attempt cut out beautifully by Diego Gizolt, and it will be a side-out throw-in for the Lions. They'll bring the defender, Matthias Pate, all the way up to do the honors. Pate on the field with Alberto Mena Espinoza, Matias Zuin, Jorge Gonzalez, Pablo Velasquez, Samuel Rosas, Manuel Vabo, Brian Vargas, and Clyde No, who've we seen been a central figure on the attack. And looks like a couple of players maybe getting loose along that Eastern Nazarene College sideline. We have one Beacon doing his jogs as well. Into the 13th minute we go here at UMB Soccer Stadium. Still scoreless in the early going. This is a hot team offensively, are the UMass Boston Beacons. We mentioned riding a 5-game winning streak up to this point. They have outscored their opponents 14-2 in those last 5 games. I have a couple of soccer players sitting next to me right here. You don't have to offer much, but I think that makes life easy when you're outscoring your opponents by 12 goals across your past 5 games. Now, the test in this game right now, it's a non-conference opponent, so you just got the taste of LEC play. 3 conference games, 3 conference wins. Now you're playing, you can't call them a lesser opponent. It is a smaller school in Eastern Nazarene. They play in a smaller conference, and this is obviously with that huge, thick conference slate coming up in front of you, a game to look past. But games like these are where you really set your standard for the season. You're in the middle of a hot run. You want to take advantage of a team that seems ripe for the picking. They're just 1-4-2 in their first 7 games, are Eastern Nazarene. And so this game seems really in the first 14 minutes just kind of truly in the balance. You can't say that UMass Boston has controlled the entirety of the play here, as we've seen a lot of midfield play. Clyde No just got a little too much on his plate there. Didn't know what to do with it. Ultimately dispossessed on the play by Christian Suvak, who's having a nice game defensively from that defensive midfield position. Cruz once again on the ball there, can't poke it free. And now Samuel Rosas, the right back for Eastern Nazarene. Beautiful dummy on the play there by Manuel Vabo as he takes it down the right sideline. And that's going to be a flag. I believe Al-Bahasi will be called for the foul. And I believe that's the first even foul that we've seen in any sort in this contest. So they've really been letting him play. This has been a wide open game. And our first free kick will come off the right foot of Samuel Rosas as he surveys the scene. A crowd forming right at the top of the box here as he launches a lofted cross into the 22. Beautifully read by Al-Bahasi. He sends it back out. Running into it is Matthias Zuan, or pardon me, that was Matthias Pate. A pair of Matthiases on the back line here for Eastern Nazarene, and Pate tried to send that one back on net, but it was cut out really right off of his left foot, and now comfortably controlling it, going back the other way, are Ma'an Al-Bahasi and the UMass Boston Beacons. He'll push it towards the midfield line, Will Al-Bahasi, looking for Anilson De Pina, who circles it over to Luan Cruz, and the Beacons back and running the other way. Wow, beautiful touch here onto Ryan Lima. Ahead to Josh De Almeida. He has 4 goals on the season. De Pina applying some relief, and just a little too many bodies in the middle of the field there. You could see De Almeida, he was motioning to Ryan Lima, wanted him to swing it along the outside. They couldn't get that done in time, and just too many bodies collapsing on that, stopping the attack for Eastern Nazarene. You could see Vibo and Osteen, they both thought that that was going to be Lions' ball. It pointed to the Beacons. It's Beacons' possession here on the throw-in. Logan Erickson Potter going to do the honors as the Beacons letting some time bleed here. As we're entering the 16th minute. Sloppy handling there right in front of us from Josh De Almeida. It's going to be another turnover here. Basically one true scoring, and it wasn't a true scoring opportunity, but one kind of run towards the net from the Beacons. We've had one shot in this contest. It wasn't a shot on goal taken by number 3, Matthias Pate of the Eastern Nazarene College Lions. Ball's in midfield, has been in midfield quite a bit. Not too much intentional offensive play from either side here, but we're still in that feeling out phase of this contest. Pashersky dispossessed on the play by Manuel Vibo. All of a sudden, Vibo having a big role in the opening moments. Wow, dangerous glancing deflection almost led to a 2-on-0 opportunity. Luckily, the ball finds a Beacons defender, and here comes Ryan Lima back the other way. Spinola and Lima going to slow it down a bit. Now looking for De Almeida along the right wing. That's Pablo Velasquez back in the left back spot for Eastern Nazarene. Haven't gotten to call his name yet. How about this lofted through? Bats coming out. He touches it, and that should be a corner. No, he does not make contact with the ball there. It looked like it glanced off his right hand. Instead, it will be a goal kick for Eastern Nazarene. De Pina applying the pressure along the left wing. We have a sub coming off for Eastern Nazarene College, number 27, Clyde No. Jorge Gonzalez, number 10, makes his first appearance of the afternoon.
For the Lions, number 12, Igor Chignoli.
And that's number 12, Igor Chignoli, a senior out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. He is in, skying up and making the save as Bats there on the chip attempt in. I believe that was Lima that got cut off. He's such a large presence in net is Lucas Bats, listed at 6'6", so easily the biggest player that we have on the field here. And I got to say, I have a goalie sitting right next to me here, and that's more of a hockey thing where you take the biggest person and you put him in net. 2 athletic plays out of Lucas Bats in the opening moments here. That's the game's first save. 1 shot from each team, the 1 shot from the Beacons on net. And the effort from Eastern Nazarene did not test the goalie. "18 minutes in here. Clock counting down, 27 on the clock. Spinning through traffic is Ryan Lima. Decided to take on 3 defenders there. Keeps it with the Beacons. Some goal with that attempt from the senior out of Lynn, Massachusetts. Al-Bahasi looking towards the middle of the field. It's deflected out. Right to awaiting Logan Erickson Potter. You got to think the attack might be the shape that the Beacons want it right now. Denis Pechersky on the back line. looks towards the middle, has Suvak dead central now, pushing forward on this attack. Subak ball on his right foot. Now he'll turn it back. Gizold slings it through. Almeida tries to chip it over the top to Lima. Lima collects it on his chest, pushed down in the box. Not going to be enough contact for a whistle there. Nice positioning by Lima. Felt the contact, was brought down, couldn't really turn it into an opportunity. And after that, we'll just take a deep breath and reset. Beacons, I would say, slightly on the front foot now in terms of pushing the attack here. They have the one shot on goal in this contest. Some play tucked along the left sideline there. They were testing out Luis Spinola. He keeps it out of trouble, knocks it out of bounds, and it'll be a Matthias Pate throw-in. Spinola skying up there, directing it back towards Lima. And somewhat slow to get up, a slight hobble in his step. He looks to be okay, and this opens up some space back on the right side of the field, cutting it back for Spinola. Into the middle, Luan Cruz. Pokes it back to Spinola, draws two defenders, and now they reverse course here. They have the Lions defense giving chase. Potter asking for it along the left sideline. Man Albahasi looks for it, keeps it down on the line, controlled well by Potter. On the left wing, puts it on the ground, into Ryan Lima. Lima spinning, left-footed cross in for Bats. Bats skies up and knocks that one out. And so that will be a good look on the cross there. Nobody really waiting in the wings. And also, you have to factor in the 6-foot, 6-inch goalkeeper out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. Down there in southeast North Carolina along the Atlantic coast. Cleared out by Al Ashkar. He has not had to do really anything today. That might be the first time he's even gotten to put a play on the ball as he clears it out of trouble. And now this left wing attack here between DePina and Potter, seen some success. And Nielsen DePina, nifty moves dribbling through about 5 Lions defenders. And here comes Pachersky to open Lima in the middle of the field. Lima pushing it ahead. Oh, he had Potter if he was able to sneak that through ball around the defender. Cruz applying pressure. It's stolen now to Pena in the middle of the box. Out in front to Almeida, left-footed shot, and he misses just high and wide. You can thank a Nielsen DePina for building up that attack. He was able to keep it through 4 Lions defenders. He got it onto the left foot of Josh Almeida, who has already deposited 4 goals into the back of the net this season. A little too high, a little too hard. And Bats yet to make a save, but now 2 scoring opportunities for the Beaks. 23:40 left on this first half clock. Nice play pushing up there by Diego as that was a little 2-man attack trying to be orchestrated by Igor Chignoli. Ball goes all the way to the back line, and now Pablo Velasquez. The Beacons have not tested him all too much on that deep left side of the Lions defense. They've been going back towards the Lions' right side here along this sideline with Logan Erickson Potter. Him and Anilson DePina have really been kind of the central figures of the wing attack. Now they'll test the far sideline. That one a little bit hot and heavy off the foot of Ryan Lima. Luan Cruz has to retreat to maintain control, but Cruz right place, right time. He will knock it off of the closest line. I believe that's number 10, Jorge Gonzalez. And so it will be Beacons' possession as we see our first sub entering the contest for the Beaks. And right as he turns around, we're able to hear the name announced. That is number 16, Dylan Kelly, coming in, spelling Josh D. Almeida. So they go attack for attack here. Pardon me, D. Almeida's still on. And it's number 6, Luan Cruz, coming off. Pardon me, Luan Cruz sliding into the back line of the defense. So we'll find that sub for you in a second. Albahasi pushing up. Cruz now central defense. Spinola on the right back line. He was the one who came off for that sub. And we see Spinola sitting down at ground level on the far side of the Beacons bench. He took a hard spill after helping with a clear. And so currently on the sideline here, we'll keep you posted. Could very much see him back in this contest in the second half. Cruz looking up, towards Lima in the middle. Lima puts it on his left foot, takes a step through, charges, blocked nicely by Mania Espinoza, and that was kind of a right place at the right time, but still clinical as Mania Espinoza cuts it out, calmly gets it back to his goaltender, Lucas Batts. And we've seen quite a bit of this in the past 10 minutes of this contest. Lucas Batts holding, surveying the scene, and gets under that one. Not the cleanest punt. It's angling, kind of knuckling towards us here on the left sideline. It's won by Luan Cruz. He's looking ahead for number 8, Ryan Lima. Lima wins it around Espinoza. Lima, left-footed shot, and it rings off the back framing of the net. That was an opportunity that appeared really out of nowhere with Lima forcing the issue, testing Alberto Mania Espinoza. Got a strong shot on it, missed about 6. No, I'll give him more than that. He only missed about 3 feet to the left as it rings off the backside of the left goal post. Brian Vargas trying to get out of trouble from the Beacons defense, and wow, he picks out Luis Spignola, who's sitting on the ground in front of a golf cart there. That wasn't towards any lion in particular. Instead, it's out of bounds. Another unforced error in midfield for Eastern Nazarene, as the Beacons still scoreless in this contest, but they've really been applying the pressure, especially past 10 minutes of the action here. D'Almeida drawing some contact there. It's going to be Chignoli committing the foul as D'Almeida takes the spill. Quickly back into play here, and just a little too heavy of a touch from Luan Cruz, as Suvak and Cruz had something going there, and it just hits the foot a little too hot for Cruz for him to possess. So now going back the other way on the counter is Brian Vargas. Cruz diving in, and maybe a little frustration in recovery on defense on that play as Vargas takes a spill. He looks towards his left ankle as he'll take a second or two here before he collects himself and gets helped up by his teammate, Jorge Gonzalez. Just the second foul called in the opening minutes of this contest, and we're more than halfway done the first half now, 25 and a half minutes through. Into the 26th minute here. Mattia Zuen, the freshman out of Mexico City, he addresses the ball about 30 yards from net. Igor Chignoli off to his left shoulder. Two-man Beacons wall. It's Ryan Lima and Dylan Kelly staring him down. But Zuen surveys the scene. A spread of Eastern Nazarene Lions. He looks, tries to chip it over towards Manuel Vabo, testing the right side of the Beacons defense, but Kasim Al-Ashkar cuts that out. And it will be the first save of the afternoon for Kasim. That his 43rd save of the season. Averaging 6 saves per contest. And that speaks both to his talent as a goalie and the skill of the back line here for the Beacons, kind of keeping everything out of trouble. D'Almeida on a one-man mission there to try and create a scoring opportunity, and he forces the game's first corner kick of the afternoon. Great solo effort there by Josh D'Almeida. He, basically back to the net. It wasn't like there was an easy pass to be had there, but that was just strong will, good dribbling, keeping the ball on his foot, and this will be Ryan Lima addressing the ball. Corner kick coming in from the far side. It's going to be a left-footed attempt. Spinning in from Lima, whistle blown. I don't think they were ready for the kick yet. It looks like Luan Cruz there in the middle of a conversation with the referee. I'm not sure if something he did was what drew the ire of the ref, but we'll do it over again. I gotta say, even with headphones on here, I'm hearing everything happening on this field, and it's a pleasure to listen to. That one, a hard cross in, touched by Dylan Kelly, and knocked out by Eastern Nazarene. Now, a lot of that language we cannot share with you guys viewing at home, and so everybody wins in that regard. But the communication, paramount, UMass Boston and Eastern Nazarene both doing a great job communicating with each other. They say a quiet defense is a dead one, and both of these defenses are alive and well in the early going. That was a right-footed corner attempt, and Diego Gisholt with a bit of a laugh as he misses that one, curves it well too far along the back fence, and he makes his way towards the back line of defense. Pair of substitutions coming in for Eastern Nazarene. It looks to be Joaquin Ferraro making his first appearance. He's a senior out of Sevilla, Spain. And Elijah Elliott, number 13 for UMass Boston, a sophomore out of Trinidad and Tobago.
Now into the game for the Beacons. Number 13, Elijah Elliott. And now into the game
Ferraro.
for the Lions. Ferrero.
Ferrero, who just hopped into the action, he had it on his foot around midfield for a second. He got dispossessed, and now the first run back into the Beacons' defensive zone here for Eastern Nazarene. Rosas launches that one in deep down the right sideline, and a little sloppy on the clear attempt for Luan Cruz. Cruz was up in the central attacking midfield position. With the recent two substitutes coming in, we had both Elliott and Kelly enter the contest. Cruz is pushed back in to kind of that true central midfielder, kind of even trending more towards the back line, playing the CDM spot. Nielsen DePina, so fun to watch with the ball at his feet, just taking it out of trouble there. And now the Beacons will get to reset possession. Let's see if Erickson Potter can push it forward. It's still kind of tucked near the right sideline. Massive bodies here. Oh, great play there by Ryan Lima, getting out of trouble. A little 1-2 touch, and now Dylan Kelly and Ryan Lima down the left sideline they go. Kelly can't put the touch pass around. Well, yes, he does put it around Mania Espinoza. On the angled slide out, it will be a corner kick, and you can thank Dylan Kelly's second effort. Ryan Lima put it on the front foot there. A beautiful one touch to get around the defender. Ultimately leads to the corner kick. And Diego, another chance here on the right foot. He curled it a bit too hard the last time. He had a look about a minute and a half ago. This one lifted. Oh, well put in by G's Holt over the outstretched arm of Lucas Botson. These are high-rising free kicks from Diego. That one dropped very fast. It was like a gust of wind hit it and knocked it down, and just a smidge too far as he curled it back over the top of the crossbar. We're still scoreless here. 14:30 left to go in the first half. More than a third through this soccer match, and 3 true scoring opportunities for the Beacons. Maybe 1 for the Lions up to this point. Al Ashkar with 1 save. Bats, I don't think he technically has a save, but he's been tested slightly more. A lot of midfield play here. We've seen the Beacons around the 20-minute mark. They really started to push into that third line of defenders for Eastern Nazarene. That generated a couple of scoring opportunities. Nothing real as of yet. Ferraro kind of dribbled that one into trouble. It's cut out nicely by Diego G's Holt. That one's launched into the middle. Kind of a cheeky touch on the header there. If that would have been cleaner contact out of Mattia Zuin, might have tested all Ashkar. Instead, it just comes off quietly. Kasim scampers over a few steps to his left, and he gets that one out of trouble. And Christian Suvak pushing it back the other way. Diego G's Holt. Ball on his right foot. Some long strides there looking up towards Elijah Elliott. 1 touches over towards Peshersky. Nice play there by Dennis, as that wasn't the cleanest of touch by Elliott. Keeps the momentum going. Man Albahasi over to Logan Harrison Potter. Back to Nielsen DePina. Those 3 really running the off. Oh, great look here by Dylan Kelly. Can he get around the last defender? No, but it goes right back to Ryan Lima. Elliott in the offing. That one's going to be cleared right over the top of us and into Monin Park. That's a home run for Eastern Nazarene College. We'll go right back into the action here. Cruz angling around Rosas. Into the middle to Kelly. They chip it out to DePina. Beacons have something on the left wing here. DePina has Potter with the relief. Instead crosses it into the middle of the field. Sloppy clear attempt from Mania Espinoza. Skying up on the play is Manuel Vibo. He's seen his number get called quite a bit. DePina testing Mania Espinoza on the back line, and Vibo finally clears it. Great job there by Eastern Nazarene to avoid that Beacons corner kick, but the quick throw-in, Potter and Cruz put it right back into play. Cruz angling to his right, sends it back out to Albahasi at midfield. Peshersky. Momentum was carrying him back away from the ball. He keeps it on the front foot. Luan Cruz trending towards the back line. He leads all Beacons with 3 assists on the season. He's a true freshman, remember. Imposing figure. 6'1" freshman out of Everett, Massachusetts. You can hear Logan Potter asking for the ball now. Mon hears it. He gives it to him. And now Potter on the left wing. Nice touch to Ryan Lima. Beacons have something here. Lima curls. Lima, left-footed cross, testing Bots. And once again, that 6'6" frame, you can't teach height. And Lucas Bots taking advantage of it. That is the third crossing attempt in the past 10 minutes that he has just plucked out of the sky. We're down pushing the 11 minutes left mark. 34 minutes into this contest, we're still scoreless. Beacons definitely threatening a bit more here. 2 shots, one of them on goal for Eastern Nazarene. And that one, wow, masterfully kept in on the play by Brian Vargas. Looking back towards the middle of the field, Ferraro putting a chop in, and that's going to be a foul against Logan Potter. On the Beacons, you can see sharing his thoughts with the referee on that call. Not too long of a conversation. And it looks like Rosas wanted to walk that one in for a free kick. We see he's their deep free kick taker. Instead, no, it's all the way back at the sideline is the free kick. And so now the Lions bunching towards the left side of the 22. Rosas raising both hands. Number 17 with that right-footed curl into the mix. Ferraro keeps it alive, wants to scissor it over his head there to try and regain possession. Instead, Elijah Elliott, a nice job clearing it out towards DePina. And Nielsen DePina, he got held on that play, looks towards his left shoulder as I believe that was actually the aforementioned Samuel Rosas committing the foul. Rosas and his teammate number 15, Pablo Velasquez, just clarifying what the defensive plan is, it looks like, as the Beacons back on the attack. Under 10 minutes left to go here in the first half, 9:45 on our clock. As Diego Gizolt, the sophomore out of Newton, Mass, looks towards the middle of the field. Christian Suvak helps move it along. Al-Bahasi to Luan Cruz. Has Potter on the left sideline. Instead, back to Ryan Lima. Lima, the chip pass over to Cruz. Double team pressure here. It finds Lima open, and Cruz just couldn't quite get it to him cleanly. Brian Vargas ultimately chops it out, but Logan Potter at the right spot. A bit of a toe blow there. Ball takes a weird spin. That could have been a big opportunity for the Beacons, but turnover on the play by Vibo. Kelly gets turned around. It gets right back onto his right foot. Was looking for Lima. Beacons still hold possession. Chipping it forward to DePina. A Nielsen DePina on the back sideline, and it's cut out strongly and decisively by Samuel Rosas. That one ripped in, shot on goal off the right foot for Luan Cruz. Bats sliding over, makes a save. Beacons have had, I would say, 2 more threatening opportunities than that one, but the strong touch from Luan Cruz, it does test Lucas Bots. 8 shots now for the Beacons, 5 of them on goal in comparison to just 2 shots for the Lions, and only 1 of them so far testing Kasim Al-Ashkar. But yeah, Lucas Bats having his number called quite a bit and answering the bell up to this point. The way this game has progressed, it's nice to see those numbers reflecting in the shot sheet for the Beaks. 8 in comparison to the Lions 2. Nothing to show for it as of just yet. This one lofted in towards Joaquin Ferraro. Came into this game as a sub about 10 minutes ago. Did the senior out of Seville, Spain. And looks like ball will stay with the Lions on a side throw-in, and we'll have a pair of substitutes entering the contest for Eastern Nazarene. Looks like number 20, Rafael Romero, along with number 16, Ignacio Fernandez Busto. Number 20, Rafael Romero, a sophomore defender out of Sanlúcar, Spain. Ignacio Fernandez Busto, he's a true freshman midfielder out of Madrid, Spain. That one tested the middle of the Beacons defense. DePina gets it out of trouble, and now with a head full of steam tries to charge past Samuel Rosas. He draws the whistle. He's not happy with it. I can't blame him. That looked to be a nice, decisive slide tackle. He made contact, though. And that is, just against Rosas alone, I believe the 4th foul called against number 17 in this contest.
Number 16, Ignacio Fernandez Busto. Number 20, Rafael Romero.
Al-Ashkar, he's His job up to this point has basically been kind of ball movement, ball handling from the goalkeeper spot. Soaring win on the header there for Alberto Mena Espinoza. Just jumps right over Dylan Kelly and controls it back to the Lions. Good interception there by Peczerski. Looking for Kelly. This time he's pulled down. And rather dangerous play right there as he was spinning his body to the left, gets pulled down to the right. Luckily was able to kind of bend his knee the right way as he fell there. Potentially dangerous foul committed by Eastern Nazarene, but here are the Beacons with a dangerous free kick looming. That's Fernandez Busto, who just checked into the contest. He's asked him to push back a bit. The left-footed Diego Gisolt over the ball. Puts it into the middle. Luan Cruz there. Lima applying pressure after the free kick. A lot of contact, and that's going to go back the other way. That foul against Ryan Lima. And it looks like Lima and Luan Cruz, a bit of miscommunication there. Cruz not where Lima wanted him to be on that free kick attempt. Quick look at the scoreboard here. 5:40 left to go in this first half. Decent bit of action. The first 20 minutes saw a lot of midfield play. It even felt like maybe Eastern Nazarene was going to be the sharper team coming out of the gates. That feeling subsided after, once we got about 15, 20 minutes through the game. And then the middle 20 through 35 minutes of this first half, really it has been UMass Boston on the front foot. No real sustained offensive looks. But how about Joaquin Ferraro? I was just going to say, haven't really been able to put anything together. He's at the right place, but so is Kasim Al-Ashkar. Wow, great save there as that deflected ball got right back to Ferraro in a scoring position. He definitely does have a nose for the goal. The second save of the afternoon for Kasim Al-Ashkar, and it's been the biggest one in this contest so far. I do ultimately believe the flag was put up for that Ferraro attack, but still nice to see Al-Ashkar with the quick reflexes there for the Beaks. Cruz feeling a bit of a jersey pull, dribbles right through it anyway, and now here's a Nilson de Pina over to Ryan Lima. Lima spinning, met by a trio of Lions defenders. It's ultimately Ferraro taking it away. DePina going to put a boot into it, and right there was Lucas Batts. That was a line drive laser. The 9th shot of this first half for the Beaks. Back with it the other way on the ball is number 23, Brian Vargas of the Eastern Nazarene Lions. Elijah Elliott dispossessing the Lions on that play. About 4 minutes left here in the first half. The Beacons have been knocking on the door. 9 shots, 6 of them on goal. 6 first half saves for big number 70, Lucas Batts. Pablo Velasquez, number 15 on the Eastern Nazarene defense, directing traffic. Rosas gets cut off by DePina. Trying to lace it through the middle there, Mena Espinoza in the direction of Ferraro. First person to get to it, though, is the Beacons' Logan Erickson Potter. Nice closeout attempt on defense there by Rafael Romero, but Potter is able to put the kick off of him and clear it back possession to the Beaks. Looks like we will have one more substitute coming in here as the play is discussed by the Beaks. All right, now we're back rolling here as Logan Erickson Potter deep towards the Beacons net along the sideline on the throw in. Kelly controls it, but he hits it right out to Mena Espinoza. And so the Lions now still on the chance to go on the front foot here and get themselves one more scoring opportunity before halftime. Gonzalez lofts it in, puts it just over the head of Rafael Romero. And yes, it does skim off the head of Romero, so that will be a goal kick for Al-Ashkar. 2.5 minutes left to go in this first half, still scoreless. 9 shots, 6 of them on target for the Beaks. 3 shots, 2 on target. Or pardon me, 5 shots, 2 on target for Eastern Nazarene. So they haven't been as oriented towards the frame as the Beaks in the first half have the Lions. Cruz looking towards Elliott. Elliott, step behind the defense. He turns back to his right, puts it towards Potter. You could see Romero asking for the tip off Potter. It didn't look like it touched him, and now the Beacon's still on the ball. Luan Cruz, long lofted cross towards Lima, and look at Lucas Batts just commits to knocking that one out. He had to run about, I'd say, 18, 19 yards off of his mark just to get to that one. Knocks it out of play. Spilios, I don't know, is that good textbook goalkeeping, or is that just someone taking advantage of 6'6"? If you're that tall, it is. Okay, so there we go. That was a great play by Batts there, and he's really turning into the story of this first half. The Beacons have been able to pressure him, but I don't think that you can really say that they have truly tested him yet in the opening half.
Let me know when we're at 13, and then count me down to 12, 11, and then at 10 I'm going to start going.
Here's Ryan Lima. Has Elliott towards the middle, also has Kelly, slides it through to Kelly. Kelly back to his left, crosses it towards Lima in the middle, and that's cut out beautifully by Mattia Zuin. He's kind of appeared in bursts in this game, has number 8, the freshman out of Mexico City.
9, 8,
We're down to the last minute here in
6,
the first half, and Kelly gets a lofted through ball. It'll be cleared out by Lucas Batts, and that will bring us to the end of the first half at UMass Boston Soccer Stadium. It was an exciting first half. The Beacons, 9 shots, 6 of them on target, but this game is still scoreless. We'll take a quick break here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, powered by LEC TV. When we come back, we'll have halftime numbers and some highlights from the prior week around Beaconville. Don't go too far. We'll be back after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network.
It's like gold dust. You hear me coming through your speakers. You see me mashing up your airwaves. I know you can't get enough of my sound. Gold dust. For myself. I know you can't get enough of myself. It's like I know you can't get enough of myself.
Well, we'll rejoin you here from the press box. Not quite high atop, but atop the UMass Boston Soccer Stadium. Your 6-2-1 Beacons looking for win number 7 on the season, locked up in a scoreless contest with the Lions of Eastern Nazarene College. Quick run through the stats. No goals, so no assists for either team. 9 shots for the Beacons, 5 for Eastern Nazarene. 6 of the Beacons' shot have tested the keeper, and 2 shots on goal for Eastern Nazarene. No corners for the Lions, 3 taken for the Beaks. 1 did turn into a fairly decent scoring attempt for Luan Cruz. He could not convert, and really that was it. There was a couple of crosses plucked out of the sky by goalkeeper Lucas Batts. Aside from that, no real testing in that first half. 1 yellow card assessed against Eastern Nazarene. It went to number 17, Samuel Rosas. 4 fouls on each side. And as we mentioned, 6 saves from Lucas Batts, 2 from Qasim Al-Ashkar. And so we have a couple of minutes left. We'll keep it with you here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, powered by LEC TV. The Beacons, a brewing offense attack in that first half, 9 shots on goal. Let's see if it'll translate to some pay dirt in half number 2. Second half between your UMass Boston Beacons and the Eastern Nazarene College Lions, coming up right after this.
We were 30 seconds off of the clock last time. We're ready this time, though. It's going to be right on. Right when he blows the whistle, it's fine.
Getting a little colder here as we get started for the second half. I feel like that's where we're at up here high atop the UMass Boston press box. Beacons in their home white on white with blue lettering, blue numerals, and blue trim. The Lions of Eastern Nazarene College in charcoal and black pinstripe jerseys with white shorts and black socks. 9 shots for the Beacons, 6 on goal. Let's see if they can get close to those numbers here in the second half. Ryan Lima kicks it off to Christian Suvak, and we are underway in half number 2. Pashurski, Gisholt, Albahasi, and Potter on the back line. Luan Cruz, Suvak, DePina on the front line. Lima along with Elijah Elliott and Josh D. Almeida up front. And still, it's Qasim Al-Ashkar back in net for the Beaks. Al-Ashkar over in the direction of Diego Gishold, who will go all the way up to Josh D. Almeida. Diving play by Samuel Rosas. Number 17 for Eastern Nazarene College has had to do quite a bit of work. They test him again, and once again he cuts out the through ball from... That was DePina looking for D. Almeida. Once again, number 17 up to the task. Samuel Rosas, he is a junior out of Danbury, Connecticut. There is a lot of international and just regional flair to this Eastern Nazarene College roster. Probably only about a fifth of their players are even from New England. Rosas, one of the best from New England. He is a Danbury, Connecticut resident. You can hear the wind kind of picking up a little bit in our headset here as that weather, that rain that we avoided has now given way to a bit of a colder afternoon here. We were tracking the remnants of Hurricane Ian coming through the area. And by all accounts, a pleasant day to play soccer, but it's October 1 on the calendar, and you can feel we are definitely transitioning into some fall ball. That one touched ahead to Brian Vargas. Vargas has been, I would say, the most dangerous offensive threat for Eastern Nazarene in the game's first 45 minutes. Joaquin Ferraro, he came in with about 15 minutes left in the first half. He was the intended target on that throw-in. Elijah Elliott helps pluck it out of trouble into the middle of the field to a Nielsen De Pina. Up ahead to Suvac here, and he touches it ahead to Lima. Lima, ball on the right foot, stops on a dime, keeps the dribble alive, looks for the left-footed shot across the field. Josh De Almeida, right-footed shot, and he pulls it just high. Ooh, the Beacons had something going there. De Pina got it started. He got it to Ryan Lima. Lima doing a lot of the individual work. Got it across to Josh De Almeida, who had some time. He needed to take his time to control that ball and get the shot off. And he pulls it high and wide over the head of Lucas Batts. Now, that is the 10th shot already of this contest for the Beaks. 6 of them on target. The second shot of the afternoon for Josh De Almeida. Crashing in on the back line, that's Logan Erickson Potter. He'll knock it out of trouble, and Samuel Rosas walks it in. Jake Beverlin, the head coach here for the UMass Boston Beacons, in his 9th season at the helm here on the peninsula. Across the sideline from him, Freddie Perez, in his first season as head coach for Eastern Nazarene. Has a pretty young roster, does Coach Perez, and he's guided his team to 1 win and 2 draws next to their 4 losses in their 7 games on the season. Luan Cruz on the back line there kind of took it into some Eastern Nazarene trouble. De Pina is able to peel it around his defender. They were looking for Josh De Almeida. Oh, I don't know what happened there is Potter, and that must have been a freshman mistake there for Luan Cruz because they had something developing there, and Cruz just ran away from the throw-in. It's out. It's an unforced error, and now Eastern Nazarene with it, looking like the slightly fresher team in the first couple of minutes here in this second half. Matthias Pate into the middle. Jumping up to attempt the clear was Diego Gishold. He couldn't do it. Ultimately, Potter provides the assistance to Kasim Al-Ashkar, and he tosses that Australian rules football style punt kick off to the side. Didn't get the cleanest hit. It's corralled by Ferraro. And cut out nicely by Diego Gishold in the middle. Not the best touch there by Suvac, and once again it finds, this is Jorge Gonzalez now in the middle. Threatening look here from Eastern Nazarene. Good play there by Elijah Elliott, applying the body to Pablo Velasquez, who was pushing up from the back line. It still gets into Sheelan's Austin. Diving play by Dennis Pashersky to get that one out of trouble. Elliott, dispossessed by Austin. Suvac right behind him. Velasquez in a nice spot, though, to cut it out, and Ferraro keeps it in. So Eastern Nazarene, the past 2 minutes, sustained possession inside the Beacon zone. But Rosas kind of got it caught underneath his feet there. De Almeida applying pressure. Josh thought he had 1 possession for the Beaks. No, it'll stay with Eastern Nazarene. And now Rosas throwing it in for Ferraro. It's cut out by Suvac. Luan Cruz back to Diego Gishold. And that's really all it's been for the Beacons here is control along the back line of the defense, but no real opportunity to get it sustained across even the midfield line. Al-Bahasi kind of lifts his arm up in disgust there, looking at the formation in front of him. He decides to just kick it into the Lions' defense and reset for the Beaks. And Jorge Gonzalez, the ball on his feet a bit more often here in the second half. I think Pashersky might have gotten away with a handball there, taking that across the midfield line. As it is, it's Vargas in the middle of a lot of trouble. He has to revert course, go back towards Gonzalez. Al-Bahasi fighting with Sheelan's Austin down low, and there was a foul drawn on that play, and it will be against number 6, Sheelan's Austin. Four fouls apiece for each team in the first half, and that'll be the 5th foul of the afternoon for Eastern Nazarene. 7 minutes into this second half here, still scoreless. If you're just tuning in, it was 9 shots in the first half for the Beacons, 6 for Eastern Nazarene. 6 of the 9 shots for the Beaks in the first half were on target, just 2 on target for Eastern Nazarene. And honestly, if you're using those numbers as an odometer, it was a pretty solid representation of how the first half went. I think the Beacons were on the front foot, you could say, for 3/4 of that first half. Al Ashkar, really nice job there with a ball in the middle. He was getting tested by Shalene's Osteen. He comes out, beats Osteen to the ball, clears it, and now Gies Holt, who's coming off his second goal of the season in the win earlier this week against Plymouth State, my apologies, venturing into some offensive territory here. Ball gets dispossessed from him. DePina offering some assistance, and now Suvak up the middle of the field to Ryan Lima. Lima tried to one-touch it ahead to D. Almeida, and it's sliding cleared out by Mattia Zuin. Big play there from number 8. We mentioned towards the end of the first half, he's kind of appeared in bursts, in spurts, if you will, in this contest. Misplay there. I'm not quite sure if there was some miscommunication there, but Rosas can't get to it in time. Unforced error for the Lions. And here comes UMass Boston, right up the center of the field. Luan Cruz, ball on his right foot. Slides a pass through to D. Almeida. Some contact in the box. Not enough to warrant a foul. And back the other way, no whistle, is Eastern Nazarene. Great job there by Matthias Pate. He's a sophomore out of Lima, Peru. Getting the ball out of trouble there, keeping the dangerous scoring threat, D. Almeida, away from any possession with the ball in the box. Rosas, as he was sliding towards the out-of-bounds line, puts the kick ahead. That should be UMass Boston ball. No, I guess not. No, I guess tipped out at the last second off of Josh D. Almeida. It happened right in front of the Beacons bench, and everyone on the Beacons bench saying, that should be our ball. Instead, possession stays with the Lions. Ball has been rather stuck, I guess, around midfield here for the past couple of minutes in the early going still in the second half. Elijah Elliott runs through some contact. 2 Lions run into each other, but the ball caroms off to the side. Elliott lofts that one, was hoping maybe for a drop over the far crossbar. It doesn't test Bats. In fact, Bats even enough time to go run over, take a swig from the Gatorade bottle before dribbling this one back into play. Still scoreless, nothing. We're through 9 minutes in this first half, 35-55 left to go in the contest. Beacons feeling a test here from a strong Eastern Nazarene performance. This is just a team that has won 1 game in their first 7. 4 losses, 2 draws as well, but looking much better than their record through the first 55 minutes of action today. Pate reverses course, little 2-man game there, but Velasquez's cross, I guess that was a through ball really, but Velasquez was vying for there. It's over everybody. Albahasi clears it out with no problems. Long strides here from Diego Gies Holt. Puts it onto his right foot, into the middle, to Elliott. Touches it to Lima. They try to go a 2-man game. It gets cleared out, but right to the right foot of Dennis Pashirski. He fakes the cross in, keeps his dribble alive. Going off to the right. Can't get around Brian Vargas, so he'll reverse course. Ferraro can't get to it in time, but he does put a shin to it. That would have been dangerous if Ferraro got to that ball in stride, but instead the Beacons still pressing forward. Very deft touch there by Jorge Gonzalez to get it to Joaquin Ferraro. Now Ferraro lost the through ball to Austin. Austin and Diego Gies Holt cuts it out beautifully. That's big. The Beacons needed that. That was a one-on-one play, but Austin spinning in with the ball. Play alive! Kick save by Kasim Al-Ashkar. The whistle blows. Shot comes in. But that was a brilliant reaction there by Al-Ashkar. Heady play as that one gets through. Believe that the shot didn't count. Yeah, so it was stepped out on the end line. But it was the attack from Shalene's Osteen to test Kasim Al-Ashkar that forced the corner kick. Ferraro on the corner, right-footed attempt. Wow, it got to the back line. Charging in was Manuel Vibo. He put a shot on, and it deflects off a Beacon defender for the second corner kick in a row here for Eastern Nazarene. 12 minutes into this second half here. It was no corner kicks in the first half for Eastern Nazarene, and all of a sudden 2 back-to-back. Ferraro puts this one on a line, cut out again by Diego Gisold, and again it goes to Ferraro. He tried to keep that one in play. This has become a problem with play here on our left, as the right field foul line is a different line, very slightly, than the end line. So you've seen a lot of players mistake the right field foul line for the actual end line. That one lined in, but Al Ashkar, no problem skying up and snagging it for his 3rd save of the afternoon. Pashurski, they're going to give him some room to run. He has D'Almeida across the field. He tries to loft it over Rosas. It kind of knuckles back the wrong way. It gives Rosas time to catch up to it and clear it back upfield. Good eyes there for Pashurski to see D'Almeida on the far side of the Lions defense. Just couldn't quite put it there to him. Now Elliott giving chase on defense as Matthias Pate looking to put it over the top of Albahasi. They've really been trying to call the number of number 6, Shalines Osteen here. He's been pressing the Beacons back line on defense, and I believe he has just generated another corner for Eastern Nazarene. Osteen, a local product. He plays his ball at Eastern Nazarene in Quincy, Mass. That's where he's from. Graduate of Quincy High School. He heads towards the top of the box here as Ferraro, his 4th corner kick in the past 3 minutes. That one's lifted, and it's cleared out of trouble by big Luan Cruz. Cruz normally applying the pressure on the offensive end. He gets back deep and clears it out of trouble. But this is now the 5th corner kick here for Joaquin Ferraro in 4 minutes of play. This one lofts long, beautiful read off the jump from Al Ashkar. And if he forces the issue, well, no, there were still 3 back on defense there as Brian Lima gave it a fortuitous run there. Kasim thinks better of it. Plenty of time to reset the run of play here. He rolls it over to Mon Albahasi. Mon always so controlled with the ball at his feet. He gives it to Elijah Elliott, who slid back towards the right midfielder spot of this formation for the Beaks. Beaks still in the 4-4-2 that we saw in the first half. A Nielsen de Pina. Over to Ryan Lima. Lima, left-footed blast! Oh, what a save from Lucas Batts. That was a downright laser off the left foot of Ryan Lima. True freshman. 154-pound frame, as it says on our roster. He got all 154 into that shot, but Lucas Batts, that's a 6'6" wingspan, and he wasn't able to get it past the diving stop of Batts. You got to think, with most goalies in the conference, you put that exact same shot on the exact same frame, it gets past the goalie for a goal. As it is, we are still scoreless. 2/3 of the way through this contest now. We have 30 minutes left in this second half. 60 minutes into this game. The Beacons, they won the first half in terms of intensity and scoring opportunities generated. You got to say Eastern Nazarene has been on the front foot here in the second half, and that was a nice opportunity kind of out of nowhere for the Beaks. Lima almost converts. Now he loses it. He's dispossessed at midfield by Gonzalez. Crashing back in is Lima to apply some defensive pressure. And now Cruz with the interception. But it's handled very well on that back line by Samuel Rosas. Yet again, number 17, no worries for him, as he came in and assertively cleared that ball. Diving play there by Logan Erickson Potter, as Osteen once again the target there for the through ball. It's cut out nicely. Now here's Elijah Elliott trying to bend some Eastern Nazarene Lions with him across the face of the formation and open some space back along the right sideline. That's what they have here. Dennis Pashurski hands it off to Albahasi. Mon Albahasi, long curving cross. And I don't think Rosas needed to put the touch on it. D'Almeida not giving it any chase. Instead, Rosas knocks it out. And now here's a side throw-in. Potter and De Pina working together here. They hand it off to Luan Cruz. Elliott at the top of the box, feeling some pressure. It gets cut out by Ferraro. Very nicely done. And now Osteen, the generous bounce, he keeps that one going with some forward momentum. Elliott back on defense. Nice play there by Elijah Elliott, not wasting any time, just kicking that one out of trouble. And probably to the best place on this soccer pitch to kick it to. There's a little bit of a flare out here along the left sideline where the right field wall juts out on this baseball stadium that we have. So that just takes, 10, 15 extra seconds to get that soccer ball back into play. Everybody gets a chance to catch their breath. And now the ball cleared out. Al-Ashkar looking to push it back ahead for the Beacons. Been a nice run of play so far here on this rather chilly Saturday afternoon. 11 shots now for the Beaks, 7 of them on target. But Lucas Batts coming to play in net for Eastern Nazarene. Diego. Across from Zuin. He chips the pass over to Luan Cruz. Ahead to Ryan Lima. Lima, the closest goal-scoring opportunity any Beacon has had this contest. We saw it just off his left foot 3 minutes ago, but was stopped from a great save by Lucas Batts. DePina from Elliott spins it back to Cruz. Logan Erickson-Potter really wanting it right around midfield along the far left sideline. Instead, Diego Gisalt, beautiful one step, makes his man miss. Beacons are through that first line of defenders now. DePina back to Gisalt, left-footed step through. He pushes it ahead to Potter. Logan Erickson-Potter, left-footed cross, and it goes a little wide. I do believe that is over the net and out of play. We'll get another look at Luis Spignola. It's nice to see him back out on the field. He took a spill whilst clearing a ball kind of early in the first half, about 20 minutes into the first half. He's been on the bench trying to get loose, get back into it ever since, and we get our second look at the sophomore out of Brockton, Mass, back onto the back line. So with Spignola on the back line, with Spignola on the back line, we see Luan Cruz push back up. He was playing the attacking midfield position when this match started. When Spignola was out with the injury, they pushed Cruz back to the back line. Here's Ferraro. He was a sub that entered this contest, and he tests Al-Ashkar off the crossbar, and the touch pushes it over the net. Kasim Al-Ashkar hasn't had to have his number called all that often, but 2 big saves here. I think the story right now, though, is with 26 minutes left in this contest, all of a sudden, Eastern Nazarene. We make sure that the clock stops on this play before the Ferraro corner kick. But the story right now has to be Eastern Nazarene on the front foot and still testing Kasim Al-Ashkar. 5 of their 8 shots on target now. 5 saves for Al-Ashkar, 7 saves for Lucas Batts. This is the 6th corner kick of the second half off the foot of Joaquin Ferraro. The wall is set to its appropriate distance. Wind really starting to pick up here out on the peninsula. And that one far off the foot of Ferraro, giving chase Matias Zuan. Spignola cuts him off. They have to circle it all the way back to Rosas, and he turns it over. Turns it over to Luan Cruz, who has Lima out in front of him to the left with a head full of steam. Cruz steps over it. Here come the Beaks pushing the right sideline. Cruz over to Peshersky, and the Beacons will take a quick step back and center this attack before pushing it forward. Al-Bahasi over towards Lima in the middle of the defense. Lima with some room to operate. It comes off his chest a bit too hard to control, and once again cleared out by Matthias Pate. He's needed to offer a much higher work rate here in this second half. Shalene Osteen a bit upset there. I'm not sure if that was directed towards the referee on the play or to a teammate. But not too hard to empathize with him. This is an Eastern Nazarene team probably not expected to take this game, who's been firmly on the front foot, generating the bulk of the scoring opportunities in this second half. And there could have been another opportunity there. Instead, the ball doesn't get to Osteen in a good spot, and so he lets his feelings be heard. Lima up ahead to Elijah Elliott now, pushing it ahead down the right sideline. He steps over, curls left, working on Vargas. Over to Peshersky. Dennis Peshersky with some room to operate. Lofts that chip, and I think he just got a little inside out on that one. It curves back over to the right into the net and out of play. Batts not tested on that. "24 minutes, 30 seconds left to go here in this second half as we're already 66 minutes into this big non-conference matchup. The Beacons riding a 5-game winning streak, kind of getting held in place a bit here from the Eastern Nazarene College Lions, but an interception on the play there by Elijah Elliott. Suvak Back down low to DePina. A Nielsen DePina tries to curl it in, and that will generate the corner kick. Great late defense applied from Alberto Mena Espinoza, and you always like to see that sportsmanship there. He offers the right hand and helps DePina get up. Ryan Lima on to do the honors from deep on the right sideline. He will address this with his left foot. Lima with a line of Beacons and Lions at the top of the box, sends this one in, cut out at the last second by Matthias Pate. Osteen throws that boot at it and clears it out of trouble, and a nice job there from Eastern Nazarene as they're winning the corner kick battle 6-2 here in this second half. That ball was put into a dangerous spot, didn't lead to a dangerous opportunity. Foul drawn there by Elijah Elliott. Nice job there as he forces the whistle on Pablo Velasquez. And you see Velasquez with some words for Elliott. A little bit of a headbutt there as that happens right in front of us. And Matthias Pate, the person coming over to offer condolences. But you can see Velasquez, he had something to say from Elliott the second that whistle was blown. And although Matthias Pate trying to be the good guy of the group here for Eastern Nazarene, you can see Elijah Elliott has not given up his beef with Pablo Velasquez. So we'll obviously be keeping our eyes on that. Through ball crossed in, and how about that aforementioned Pablo Velasquez? He's right there to cut it out. DePina over to Spinola. Spinola boxed out beautifully on the play by Manuel Vibo. Just completely took Spinola out of the equation. Now Vibo right in front of the referee goes down low to dispossess Spinola. Luis wants to get back into it quickly. Kicks it in. Lima, a huge crowd in front of the net. And wow, I think the Beacons, they had a better opportunity than they realized there. Lima pushed it a bit too fast and furious. D. Almeida was on his left. Elliott was on his right. They don't get a shot off. And now here's Diego Gishold behind everybody trying to push it back into the offensive end. 21 and a half minutes remaining here. A scoreless contest that is really come back to the balancing point. The Beacons were out on the front foot for the entirety of the first half. Eastern Nazarene definitely winning this second half in terms of opportunities and momentum. That Luis Spinola substitution and Luan Cruz moving back up to the middle of the field has provided some added offensive looks here. Here's D. Almeida behind the defense. One touch, and Batts is able to get out to his left and make the save. Late contact between D. Almeida and Lucas Batts here. They'll give Lucas a chance to clear the area before he clears the ball. But another attempt for the Beacons, and once again, Lucas Batts right where he needs to be to say no. 13 Beacon shots in this contest, 8 on target. Yet no goals to speak of up to this point in the action. Beacons averaging 12 shots per contest, so already over that number here. Still with 20 minutes left to go in this contest. Pate, that play's cut out nicely by Cruz, and Cruz, I was going to say, if the whistle didn't sound, he would have gotten away with one there, but Luan Cruz commits the foul on Matthias Pate, who is charging in from the defensive end, and now Brian Vargas stands next to Jorge Gonzalez, and it looks to be Gonzalez, the senior out of Santa Cruz de Tenerife, Spain, surveying the scene here. He's over the free kick. Lifts his right arm. 3-step run. Chops it in right in the direction of Osteen. And at the pace that was going, I thought the ball might have taken a higher bounce. Instead, right to Kasim Al-Ashkar. That's the easiest save he'll get of the day. Gisol back to Al-Bahasi. To Elijah Elliott. Spun around there by Lima. Had to deal with a bit of a jersey hold, but he gets it ahead to DePina. Here come the Beaks along the right sideline. Pashursky stops, dances. Back to Elijah Elliott. Elliott surveying the scene, puts the cross in, tries to test Pablo Velasquez. I don't know if that beef is still fresh in the mind of Elijah Elliott, but I wasn't sure where that one was going for. It seems like he was just trying to test out the player that he had words for. Speaking of that, it looked like a quick stern talking to there from between Jorge Gonzalez and this game's head referee. Is emotions bubbling here. This game's still scoreless. Both teams have had plenty of opportunities to break the scoreless tie. At this point, the Beacons kind of seeing the reality of this situation here, having outscored their opponents 14-2 across their last 5 games. For the first time in a while, they need to generate something, and they almost let an opportunity open up that shouldn't have for Austin. Luckily, DePina and company there to take care of trouble. DePina feeling some contact along the sideline there from Vargas, nothing called. Ultimately, it leads to a failed crossing attempt there. I believe Vibo was the intended target. Al-Ashkar clips that out of trouble, and the Beaks right back pushing the other way. We're under the 18-minute mark, 17:59 left to go here, as Elliott, he had Pashursky. If he could have just put it in front, Dennis, a bit further, the Beacons were really onto something. But as it is, right side throw in here, Beaks on the attack. Suvak all the way across to Diego Gisholt. Spignola to his left. Diego steps through. Leans it into DePina. Back out they go to Suvak. He's been the quarterback on the back line offensively here for the Beaks. Pashursky's cross needed a little bit more on it. It gets cut out and cleared by Matthias Zuin. Manuel Vibo back to Samuel Rosas. And a little miscommunication there. He's not on the same wavelength with Shilins Osteen. Al-Bahasi, he does such a good job at this, just kind of extending the play, making that forward run those extra couple of steps before he puts the ball back into play. You never know, that might lead to the opening the Beaks need to finally get one past Lucas Batts and the Lions defense here. Here's Ryan Lima curling to his right. Cross, in, header up to Pina. Climbs the ladder there, and I don't know if he might have taken away an opportunity from D. Almeida, but the header goes wide to the left. The 14th shot of the afternoon for the Beaks. 8 of those shots on target. 9 shots for Eastern Nazarene, 6 of those on target. Eastern Nazarene winning the corner battle, 6 corners, all 6 of those taken here in the second half. Batts, wow, he mishits it on the punt. It goes right to Ryan Lima. He has plenty of time to reset, though, but that not the kick you wanted to see from Lucas Batts. Now Lima, dancing on the dribble, tries to take on 4 Lions defenders, gets it back to Suvak, hits the ground very hard, no advantage given, so the Beaks are going to have to do something with it right now. Lima finally able to pull himself up off this field turf. But now Mattia Zuin was dancing with it through Beacon's defenders around midfield. He gets dispossessed. He gets it back, looking forward to Osteen. Gisholt climbing the ladder, can't take it from him. Ultimately, Joaquin Ferraro sends it back to his teammate Samuel Rosas, and I'm not quite sure what Rosas wanted to do there, but he sent it ahead directly to Al-Ashkar, who reverses course here, and the Beacons back on the front foot. 75 minutes into this match, still scoreless. And Lima once again doing some dancing to generate some space here. Has Luan Cruz with some room around him. Over to Christian Suvak. Suvak looking for a lane, puts it to Anilson DePina. DePina one-on-one against Pate. And Matthias Pate winning that defensive play one-on-one, knocking it out of trouble, and it's going to be just a long throw-in, no corner, deep down the right sideline. Haven't had many subs here in the second half. We finally get one again as it's, I believe that's Logan Erickson Potter. Yes, 24 coming back in for the Beaks, so Logan Erickson Potter coming on. And a substitute for the Lions, we get Clyde New back in.
Number 20, Rafael Romero.
So number 27, Clyde New, back onto the field after I really only played about 10 minutes coming into the first half. He's the leading scorer for the Lions coming into action today. Saw about 10 minutes of action in the first half. Back out here to maybe try and steal a late goal for Eastern Nazarene, as we only have 76, or as we're 76 minutes in, we only have 14 remaining. DePina taking on a trio of Lions, draws the foul. They'll call the advantage right then and there. And so it'll be an angled look, but it will be a free kick from a potentially dangerous spot here for the Beacons. You can see Brian Vargas there. He wasn't giving the space needed on the free kick, and finally it takes the referee coming over, telling him to back up the couple extra steps there. Both number 23 Brian Vargas, number 15 Pablo Velasquez have been getting under the skin of Beacon's players today. I'm not quite sure what the thought was there on the free kick from Ryan Lima. I mean, that one went over the back net. It went into the top of the tree off of the field level. So I'm not sure if that was a mishit or just a misjudgment. We have a member of the event staff needing to hop 2 fences to go track down that ball. As it is, not what you want to see with a free kick in a dangerous spot on the attack with 14 minutes left. Now we're down to 12:55 left in this contest as Lima trying to put in some superhuman effort to get a generated chance there. He can't come up with it, and now back down the other way come Brian Vargas and the Eastern Nazarene Lions. Vargas chips it ahead around Spagnola. Vargas cut off beautifully by Luis Spagnola. Great play deep in the Beacons defensive zone. Puts it out ahead to Luan Cruz. Chips it forward to DePina. Beacons on the counter. DePina. Well, I felt some contact from Gonzalez. It was away from the referees. I think it just wasn't blatant contact enough to warrant a foul there. And every time Nielsen DePina goes to work down low, you just trust that he'll be able to get around the defender. 12:10 left on the game clock as Joaquin Ferraro has that ball take a weird hop. He's able to get it through the first line of Beacon's defenders, and that's touched out by Diego Gisholt. It will be a corner kick. Spagnola and Gisholt, they don't like that call. I think Spagnola thought it was out off Ferraro last, but this is the 7th corner kick of this second half for Ferraro, and there was a hitch in that delivery, so we'll have to do it again. No sub-waiting. I just don't think the go-ahead was ready here. It gives Kasim Al-Ashkar a chance to go back and take a swig from that Powerade bottle before getting back into position and directing traffic ever so slightly. Has to push Shaleen's Osteen out of the way as both Osteen and Erickson Potter right next to Kasim Al-Ashkar. Corner kick number 7 is plucked out of the sky. That's like a wide receiver going up and just mossing a football. Al-Ashkar, through 2 different Lions, just takes that one away. That is a huge play, clearing that corner kick from danger. Joaquin Ferraro has generated 3 scoring opportunities on his 7 second-half corner kicks, and that 7th save of the afternoon, the biggest one for Kasim Al-Ashkar. Both teams now double digits in the shot column. DePina takes that one off the foot of Matthias Pate. 10:45 left to go here in the second half as they look for Spagnola, and that one does touch. Oh, I don't know. I swore that touched the back leg of Brian Vargas, and this is going to be a yellow card here against Christian Suvak. You could see, I mean, okay, so I get the crux of this argument. That ball looked like it had to touch the back of Brian Vargas' leg, which would have meant it would have been a UMass Boston throw. It was a definitive call from the referee in the middle of the field that, no, that's Eastern Nazarene ball. You could hear Christian Suvak question that from where we were. So it was very evident that he was going to get yellow carded for that. But honestly, and I'm granted, UMass Boston's broadcaster, biased, but I believe he was right. That looked like it hit Brian Vargas' leg. It happened right in front of the Boston bench. So if that's what it takes, if it takes a Christian Suvak yellow card to wake up the Beacons, we'll take it, but I don't think he has anything to get upset about. We're into the 80th minute now as Matthias Pate puts one on, a bit of a knuckler that coasts through. It's cleaned up by Kasim Al-Ashkar. Once again, as we mentioned, both teams into double digits now, as I think both teams kind of taking the top off and just going for broke here. We're still scoreless, 0-0. I don't think either team wants to see this game end in a draw. Both teams selling out for a 1-0 goal, and I believe we're going to have another card here, and it is a yellow against number 15, Pablo Velasquez. Now, you could say Pablo Velasquez almost earned himself a yellow card earlier in the second half for his argument. I believe it was with Elijah Elliott. Yes, they don't card him then, they do card him now. So 2 yellow cards in back-to-back minutes as Suvak gets carded in the 80th minute, and Velasquez gets carded in the 81st. So now 3 yellow cards assessed in this contest. 2 against the Beaks, 1 against Eastern Nazarene. Pate having to give rush, and the sophomore out of Peru could not get to it in time. It leads to a quick throw-in, cut out well by Jorge Gonzalez in the middle of the fray there. Beacons tried to restart play quick there and catch the Lions napping. That little run of play doesn't lead to anything, but now Logan Erickson-Potter along the back line. Not a clean touch on it. Matthias Pate turns it over, though, to Dennis Pachersky. Pachersky, the freshman out of Newton, Mass, with some room to operate, gets it over to Christian Suvak. 8.5 minutes left to go in this contest here. Both teams have been threatening really the entirety of this second half. This game has been on the precipice. Lima, after a spin, has it. Ahead to DePina, back to Lima, and right in the middle of the Eastern Nazarene defense. Ultimately, it was Joaquin Ferraro cleaning it up and getting it out of trouble. Albahasi goes for the clear, directly to Joaquin Ferraro, and now Brian Vargas a step ahead to Shaleen's Osteen. Osteen, one touch beautifully ahead to Zuan. No whistle there after, I believe, Eastern Nazarene could have claimed that they just drew 2 separate fouls, and now that's clear as day in front of the referee's assistant on the far sideline. That's great effort there by Brian Vargas. Both Vargas and Zuan were in position to draw whistles. Third opportunity for the Lions, they get the whistle there. A lot of action happening right in front of the bench here. Ultimately, it's going to be an Eastern Nazarene free kick, and it's Ferraro again from deep along the right corner of the box. Fronted by Anderson DePina. Ferraro directing traffic. Surveying the scene here, you have Clyde No down there with Shaleen's Austin. Matthias Zuin down low as well. Cleared out of trouble nicely by Luan Cruz. He's really aided this defensive effort this Saturday afternoon. Timely clear when the Beacons need it. Mon Albahese whistled for the most recent yellow card, so now we have 2 apiece. Samuel Rosas, Pablo Velasquez, each collecting yellow cards for the Beaks. Christian Suvak, Mon Albahasi with yellows for the Beaks. And it was Velasquez and Velasquez and Rosas with the 2 yellows for the Lions. Back the other way here as Ferraro puts a 1-step pass to Pate. It's cut out in the middle of the defense by Diego Gizolt. 6.5 minutes left to go in the contest here. Beacons, 6-2-1 on the season, looking for win number 7. Haven't been able to get anything past the 6'6" goalkeeper, Lewis Batts, this afternoon. Great play by Pachersky there to get it out of trouble. He takes the contact from Clyde No. No whistle, but still a big stop. Rosas, up ahead to Vargas. Looked like he lost the headband for a second. Cut out beautifully by Diego. Diego, right place, right time again, along with Spinola, but it's still in the offensive zone. Rosas, up ahead to Zuin. Zuin curls it in, is able to get the left foot crosser in. It's dug out nicely by Albahasi. Oh, and a beautiful touch there from Lima. Gets this to DePina on a step. Pardon me, now it's Lima. Keeps the possession alive. It's going to be a Beacons throw-in. Lima, DePina, De Almeida, and Cruz on the front foot. And Elijah Elliott re-entering the contest for the Beacons. He'll come in for Luis Spinola. So Elijah Elliott, sophomore, out of Trinidad and Tobago. Seen some action in the first half. He started the second half on the field. He's the intended target of the cross there. Skies up, can't put the play on it in time. Matthias Pate doing what he can to keep it away from Elliott, and it will be a Lucas Batts goal kick. 85 minutes in, 5 minutes remaining, 0 goals in this contest, but a slew of opportunities. 25 combined shots, 15 for the Beaks, 10 for the Lions. 15 chances on net, 8 for the Beaks, 7 for the Lions. Both teams have been knocking sternly on the doorstep in this second half. Can one team finally break this draw? That's nice individual effort there by Ferraro. He keeps it out off of Christian Suvak. And the Lions, with a left sideline throw-in, kind of a chance to direct traffic before they put this one back into play. Clyde, no. Around 3 Beaks. Ultimately, Suvak dispossesses it from that big kick glances to the middle of the field. Josh D. Almeida, right place, right time. Lima takes a spill. Oh, where was that whistle? It's a handball. They call a handball for Lima, and that might be right there. It was that ball took a funny spin once Lima hit the ground. So they call the handball against Ryan Lima, and now here come the Lions back the other direction. Now they're three and a half minutes left to go in this contest. Ball is at their feet with a chance to break this scoreless tie. Velazquez, now deep on the back line. He'd kind of come up and been playing central defensive mid. He gets his cross into Vargas. Vargas' shot misses wide into the left. That might have been the cleanest shot opportunity in this contest. All Brian Vargas had to do was spin and put the kick on net. He misses wide to the left, but the 8th corner kick in this second half for Joaquin Ferrero. You're messing with fate here, trying to stop 8 straight corner kicks, but Kasim Al-Ashkar, Johnny on the spot, right there again, nothing to it. How many times are you going to ask this goalie to come up big in a corner kick situation? Well, 8 in the second half if you're counting tonight, but the Beaks back with possession, and we are under 3 minutes left. Elijah Elliott coasts underneath it. Dummies, lets it take a high bounce, working on Matias Payne. Beautiful touch there by Elliott along the right sideline. To DePina in the middle of the field. DePina slides it ahead. D'Almeida, oh, it's cut out at the last second from Samuel Rosas. Wow, that was a beautifully developed play there onto the right foot of Josh D'Almeida. He had a lot of room, and Rosas, who has been far and away the best on-ball defender for Eastern Nazarene, keeps that one out of trouble. Lima, the left-footed kick, down for the corner kick. Less than 2.5 minutes left to go in this contest. Lima hits it hard over the top of Elliott. Elijah Elliott giving chase. Gets bumped into hard by Rosas. He gets to it first. Spinola spins. Wow, it's cut out beautifully by Vargas. And now Rosas gives it off to Vargas. And here comes a 3-on-3. Osteen back the other way for the Lions. Gives a little slew foot to Suvak, gets the ball into the middle of the pitch, but it's cut out by Diego Gisholt right when the Beaks needed it the most. Whew. 2 minutes left now as Spinola back on the ball. No chance to catch your breath here. This game, it feels like a 4-4 draw right now, not 0-0. That one's cleared out. This gives the Beacons an opportunity to set up a set play here from the throw-in. It's Cruz looking towards Josh D'Almeida. D'Almeida pushed off the ball once again by Samuel Rosas, doing everything needed for Eastern Nazarene College. Clyde, no. Bad touch on the header there. It's stolen from him by Lima, but no, great recovery. 1:20 officially left on the scoreboard, so our clock about 7 seconds off. We'll keep you guys posted on everything. Beacons in the 89th minute just trying to put one in and get their 7th win on the season and their 6th straight. Eastern Nazarene putting up a big fence so far this contest. We are in the game's final minute. 1 minute remaining, and a turnover here on the back line. Suvak plucks it, gives it to Pashursky. Dennis chips it forward to Bats. Bats handles it calmly. And we're now in the closing seconds of this contest. What's Eastern Nazarene going to do? They're going to push forward. Bats puts a much better punt on it this time, but it's touched ahead by Cruz to D'Almeida. D'Almeida, once again, dispossessed by Samuel Rosas. And I got to tell you guys, if this result holds 0-0, easily 17 in black, the player of the game on defense for Eastern Nazarene. But right now, Vargas pushing it ahead for the Lions with 30 seconds left. Now he curls in, ball on his left foot, can't get the shot off. Great play there by Luan Cruz. A Nielsen DePina gets taken down. 20 seconds left. The Beacons trying to push it forward. Clock stops. 7.5 on the clock. I'm not quite sure if we're going to add any more. It is going to be a yellow card. I believe the man in the area was number 10 Gonzalez, but we can't confirm that. And here we go. So it's going to be one last launch towards the net for Diego Gisol with 7.5 seconds. Clock running for Elliot De Almeida with a scissor kick. No, whistle blows. And let's see what the official word is here from the ref. That will do it. A last desperation attempt on net with De Almeida and Elliott in the area. It comes up short, and the Beacons, while putting 15 shots out, 10 on goal, not able to beat Lucas Bats. And for the second time this season, the Beacons end their match with a draw. Our final here at the UMB Soccer Stadium, the UMass Boston Beacons, nothing. The Eastern Nazarene College Lions, nothing. With the draw, Beacons are now 6-2-2 on the season, and the Lions move to 1-4-3. We'll take a very quick break. We will come back with the game's final numbers. No scoring to tell you about, so we'll give you a quick rundown on the stats right after this. And we're back here at the UMass Boston Soccer Stadium. A fun match. Somehow it didn't see any goals scored. And the Beacons take their second draw on the season. Side by side, you can see both teams double-digit shots. 17 for the Beacons officially, 11 for Eastern Nazarene College. 9 of the Beacons shots on target compared to 7 for Eastern Nazarene. So accurate shooting, intense offensive play, it just didn't lead to any goals being scored. 7 saves this afternoon for Kasim Al-Ashkar. That's a great number, right on line with his season average. 9 saves for Lucas Bats, including a clutch save against Josh De Almeida with about 5 minutes left in the contest. 8 fouls against the Lions, 9 against the Beaks, so it wasn't the cleanest soccer match we've ever seen. And 2 yellow cards apiece, all of those in this game's second half. Wish we had some scoring to report to you. Unfortunately, the Beacons go scoreless in this contest. They move to 6-2-2 on the season. Thanks so much for tuning into our broadcast today. Plenty more coming up in these next coming weeks. We have a very busy weekend next weekend around Beaconville for you guys to be able to tune in on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. We couldn't do it without our production crew, so my name is Chris Del Sordo. I want to thank my producer, Michael Vesci, our camera operator, Max Clifford, and our executive producers, Maria Smilios and Gina Albano. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this Saturday afternoon. Beacons and Lions and scoreless. The Beacons now 6-2-2 on the season. Unfortunately, that 5-game winning streak comes to an end. The undefeated streak continues. Wherever you are, have a great rest of your Saturday around Beaconville, and roll Beaks.